Hello, we're taking it outside today. The weather's quite nice and into the woods we go. It's looking good with all the foliage and all the scenery and so on. Today I want to talk about the tarot in two aspects. One, what it's really not meant for, and two, how making the mistake of using the tarot at the wrong time eventually leads to that tarot deck that you're using it becoming actually more powerful. Now there's two times where you should never ever use the tarot for divination. Well, it's one time, but two aspects of that one time. And that is during a period of deep emotional crisis. If you're going through a period of deep emotional crisis or deep emotional investment, be it the end of a relationship or even the start of a relationship, a crisis in your life of any kind, the tarot is no good for divination. Because what you want to do when you're in those states is to project your wishful thinking into the situation regarding the reading on the deck. So for instance, if you were going through the end of a relationship and you're desperately wanted to be fixed or get back together with that person, you're going to take even the most negative tarot reading in a spread and will try to see positives in it. You know, it could be like, you know, the tarot card telling you it's over, or the death card telling you to like learn from the process and move on. You'll say, oh, it's the death of their relationship with their new person that they left me for, or it's the death of or the end of what they thought they needed without me. You see, you'll always, and that's always wrong. It's always wrong, and you always project what you wished will happen into it, and it's a lie. See, the tarot divination is not lying. You're lying to the deck. The deck isn't lying to you. Now, to take this further, it could also be in a positive sense where there's too much emotional charge, where you're on the start of what you think is going to be something amazing, and every card in the deck, even if it's negative, or no matter what the card is, it's all about, yeah, the universe is saying, push forward with this, go forward with this. Again, you're putting your hopes into something rather than reading the signs. And this is a big problem. This is a major problem actually with a lot of tarot reading. Now, for instance, if you're suffering from a very bad illness and there's a lot of emotional as well as pain, and you pour that into the deck hoping to get answers, and you're using it in terms of divination, you won't get the right answers. What you get again is what you're hoping for. Now, at the same time, the symbols and the cards and the spreads are telling you the truth. So if you can manage to contain your emotions, they can actually help your healing process, whether it be psychological, emotional, or physical healing process. They can really help there. They can be very, very good for that. And but the problem is, it's very difficult for us as human beings when we're going through a difficult emotional time to maintain this kind of emotional focus or psychological clarity, intuitive clarity. What happens is we're in a state of, please let this happen, please let this fix itself, please let this come to fruition. And you will see, like I said, anything, any sign in that deck as proof that it's going to get better, when in reality all you're doing is using the archetypes to lie to yourself. And then people often say, I'm done with the tarot after this, it doesn't help me, I'm finished with it, it's gone, out of here. And that's because the tarot didn't lie to them, they lied to the tarot. And when the tarot didn't validate their lie, well, they believed that the mistake was on the other side with the deck from the subconscious world. The fact was the mistake was on their side, and it's not a case of them losing faith in tarot. It's a case of the tarot had lost faith in them. But as I said, we have all done this. We have all been there. We have all gone on this particular journey with this experience. And it's completely normal, it's completely human, but it's still wrong. However, it does have a positive side. if you have a deck for a long time, and you had a deck that was at a part in your life when you were going through great difficulty, remember all the psychic energy that you had is poured into this deck, and it's retained and kept inside the images and also your subconscious demonic engagement with that particular deck. Now this deck is very, very old. It's an old Thoth deck that I have. And the first tarot video I ever made, which I'll put the link below, probably 11 years ago, I gave this as a demonstration of a deck you could use. Now that video had been made after I just came out of hospital after a very serious operation. And I was in a very bad way, physically. And I'd been also going through a very difficult time in my life around that period. It was like one of those things where everything had went wrong, and including my health as a result of it. And I was constantly pouring myself into this particular Thoth deck, hoping to get the answer, a good news thing. But and I was doing that same thing. I was projecting my longing, my wishes, my desires into something that could not be made possible in that period. And eventually I learned a lesson and put the deck away and said, I've got to work on my own crap now and heal myself. Now, that's when things started to get better. That's when things started to turn around. When you start to own your own shit, okay? Now, this deck here, as a result, is incredibly charged with the psychic energy that I poured into from that period. And this is almost like, this particular Thoth deck is like my master deck. Now, this is the one I go to when it's, you know, I've got other decks, but this is the one that I go to, you know, when it's on, kind of thing. And when I need real clarity and answers about the future and what is contained in the future. And this is the boyo, this is the one. This is the one. And this is an extremely powerful deck. And the reason why is because the longevity of how long I've had it, coupled with the fact that it has all this psychic energy poured into it from that particular period and in the years ever since. So this is, now there's a lot of nonsense about, you know, how you should put your tarot deck in a velvet pouch and pray to it and ask the goddess. I see all these rubbish videos all over the place. No, it's visceral. Remember, everything is visceral. Energy is a visceral process. You know, when our ancestors built the ancient megaliths, that was hard work and struggle. And even if they had sciences that we don't have now in terms of moving stone and forming stone, there was still tremendous psychic energy involved in that process. Emotional, intellectual, spiritual energy. And this is why these locations are charged. They're charged with these remarkable experiences of these people that pour their energy into it. So remember that now about the tarot. The tarot is not there to lie to you. It's not a counselor. It's not Oprah in 78 cards telling you everything is going to be okay. It will light a fire under your ass when it needs to be, and you have to obey. You have to be, and how you obey is you are honest with the reading in front of you. When you go into fantasy and say, oh, you know, a new relationship has started and all the cards are telling me to do this, that's terrible. That's a terrible thing. You must maintain neutrality and reflection. And the same thing when you're going through a difficult time. Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be okay. That's what the Three of Hearts says, or Three of Swords says. That's what the Tower is saying to me. It's going to be great. No, you've got to go through this process and then towards rebuilding. And like I said, if you have that same deck years later, what you have in your pocket, if you have this deck, is a weapon of mass divination.